Hello, scholars. Welcome. It is good to begin this first series of conversations with you. This one in our Google Classroom is entitled October November Conversations. And when you click on that in the stream, it will take you to a series of posts that is kind of an orientation with this video, and then three different prompts: engaging cultural context, spiritual discernment, God's mission, spiritual disciplines, that's all in one, and primary theological thinkers and heritage. What I want you to do is, over the next month and a half till November 30th, I want you to watch this video, which you're doing, hopefully, and then I want you to choose two of those prompts and respond to them. And there's like, for example, in the one of the prompts, engaging cultural context, I have on there, by now you've reflected on, and your November 1st you will post your missional project idea. You've thought and considered what it looks like to engage your cultural context. I want you to flesh that out a bit more. If you want to discuss what you think your project might look like, that's fine. If you would prefer, share a story or two about something in your school, your church, your local community, or larger culture that you see needs to be touched by a cross-shaped love. For example, in our context right now, there's a lot of discussion about what's taking place on the football fields, the kneeling protest, Colin Kaepernick protesting originally last year about systemic racism and police brutality. And our president has made this a wedge issue now and made it about the flag and about patriotism. How might a cross-shaped love inform this important conversation? Just an idea. Lots of different things we can talk about there. But I want to just take you back to our first day, day one, back in July, where we looked at, and Dr. Weeb shared with us, virtues, vice, and Christian faith. And he kind of set the foundation for the direction of that week. Do you remember when he asked the question, what is the good life? What is the good life? What sort of things would be part of this good life? Right, wrong, good, bad. How does our faith shape these sorts of questions? He talked about deontology. That is those duties, those obligations. You know, what is my duty? What rules do I have to follow to answer these questions? What is the right thing to do in spite of the consequences? He talked about teleology. That is, what will the effects of my choices be? And then virtue ethics. What type of person should I be? He asked some questions about, like, what is virtue? Do you remember those questions? He read from 1 Corinthians 13, 1 through 3. Remember, externals may look good, but what about the internals? He mentioned Plato's Republic and also the Ring of Gyges. Remember that outward rule following is not the same as being truly good. You might consider Paul, Galatians 5, 1 and following. So it's not just about our singular actions, but our habits. That is, creating those ruts in the soul, these character traits. Not just good deeds, but excellent people. Not just good deeds, but excellent people. So who are we called to be? So what I want us to do in this first month, as we begin to as we think about these prompts in relation to this video, who are we called to be? Who are we called to be? What kind of people does God call us to be? And why is it important to reflect on these virtues? Well, I just blanked here. The conversion in our Christian life is the starting point. It's not the end point. And it's important to remember in our Christian journey. We begin at a place, our conversion, when we give our life to Christ, when we've given ourselves over to baptism. That is the beginning point. It is not the end point. We have been baptized into the name of God, and that has been placed on us. So, what kind of people are we who have the name of God placed on us? How do we take on that identity? Um, and that's kind of what I want you to think about these over the next several weeks, October and November. In light of where you are in school, where you are in church, where you are in your education, what kind of people is God calling you to be? What does it mean to have your name placed on His name placed on you? So, just some thoughts to get us going. A reminder about our initial conversations about Christian identity. And remember, back in July and August, we looked at faith. We looked at the difference between faith and belief. You might go back and reread your notes, maybe jot some thoughts, some remembrances, some conversations that might come to the surface. I look forward to joining you in our forums. Blessings and peace.